This story didn't scream for attention, but signs were always there. You just need to look closer. This is hidden witness. I saw a man standing beside MY bed, but nobody was there. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night and seeing a man standing beside your bed. He's tall, broad shoulders, completely black. You can't see his face. You can't see his eyes. You can't even tell if he's breathing. And the strangest part, you're not afraid, because somehow you already feel like you know him. Now imagine looking across the hallway and realizing that the only reason you can see this figure at all is because he's blocking the nightlight in your baby's room. That's what happened to a young mother living in a tiny town in North Texas. But that wasn't the beginning of the story. For months before she ever saw the man, her house had been behaving strangely. Pictures kept falling from her baby's bedroom walls. A woman appeared in the kitchen. And guests staying overnight heard someone repeatedly walking from the bedroom to the bathroom and back again. Then one night she finally saw the thing that had been inside her home all along. Young mother lying awake in a dark bedroom at 2 a.m., staring toward a hallway, faint, warm, yellow baby nightlight glowing from a child's room, tall, completely black silhouette of a broad-shouldered man standing near the foot of the bed, face invisible, eerie but non-graphic supernatural horror, cinematic photorealism, dramatic shadows, 69, no text. She was only 18 years old, a brand new mother. Her days revolved around diapers, feeding bottles, sleepless nights, and taking care of her 6-month-old daughter. She and her boyfriend had just signed the lease on their first home together. The town was tiny, less than 1,000 people. There was one flashing red traffic light, 2 gas stations, and according to her account, only one police officer who worked nights a couple of times a week. It was the kind of place where nothing seemed to happen, and their new house was perfect, pink brick, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a large backyard, for a young family with very little money. It felt like they had finally found their little piece of the world. But within a short time, they would realize they weren't the only ones living there. Small, charming pink brick house in a tiny rural North Texas town. Large backyard, quiet, empty street. Early evening in the late 1990s. Warm windows glowing, peaceful family home appearance hiding an eerie atmosphere, cinematic photorealism. 16. 9. The first strange experience happened when the mother wasn't even home. Her boyfriend was alone with their baby. He was sitting on the couch in the living room when he noticed something moving in the kitchen. At first, he thought it was a trick of the light. Then he looked again. There was a woman. She appeared almost like a light mist, a pale, hazy figure slowly walking back and forth through the kitchen. He couldn't see her face, but there was one detail he was certain about. She was wearing what looked like a long dress. He watched her, and then she disappeared. There was no dramatic scream, no door opening, no footsteps running away. She was simply there, and then she wasn't. At the time, he didn't know what to make of it. But it wouldn't be the last time the house showed them something they couldn't explain. 1990s suburban kitchen at night. Young father sitting on a couch in an adjoining living room holding a sleeping baby, translucent misty female figure in a long old-fashioned dress slowly pacing through the kitchen, face indistinct, eerie supernatural atmosphere, photorealistic. 16. 9. The strange activity soon seemed to concentrate around one room, their daughter's bedroom. Every morning the mother would walk in to get her baby from the crib, and almost every morning something was wrong. The pictures on the wall had fallen. At first she didn't think much of it. Maybe the nails weren't strong enough. Maybe the paintings were too heavy. Maybe the walls were simply unreliable, so she put them back. Then she reinforced them. She added more support. She made sure they were secure. But the next morning, they were on the floor again, all of them, and this was important. Her daughter was still an infant. She couldn't reach the pictures. Her boyfriend wasn't deliberately knocking them down. There was no obvious explanation. For a new mother already exhausted from lack of sleep, this was more than annoying. It was personal. She began thinking, why is this happening in my baby's room? Cozy baby's bedroom in an old Texas house. White crib, soft yellow nightlight. Several large painted canvases hanging on the wall, peaceful room with subtle eerie shadows. Cinematic supernatural horror realism. 16. 9. She later described becoming angry about it, not terrified, angry. Because whatever was happening, it seemed to be happening around her child, and something about that changed everything. She wasn't just a scared teenager anymore. She was a mother. The kind of mother who could hear the smallest sound from another room. The kind of mother who would wake up instantly if her baby cried. So when those pictures kept falling, she began wondering if something was deliberately trying to get her attention, or worse, trying to get close to her daughter. But then came the night that convinced her this wasn't just something happening in the baby's room, because that night, someone else heard it too. Protective young mother standing inside her baby's room at night, looking angrily toward an unseen presence. Infant sleeping peacefully in crib. Paintings on floor, warm nightlight, supernatural tension, cinematic photorealism. 16. 9. The family didn't have much money, no internet, no television. So when her sister and her sister's boyfriend came to stay, the four of them spent the evening playing board games. Eventually, the young couple went to their bedroom. The sister and her boyfriend made a bed out of blankets and pillows on the living room floor. The house became quiet. Everyone went to sleep. Or at least everyone tried. Because sometime during the night, the guests started hearing something. 1990s living room at night, young couple and guests playing board games on the floor, blankets and pillows prepared for sleeping, cozy atmosphere with subtle, unsettling shadows. Old television absent, cinematic photorealism. 16. 9. The next morning, the sister looked exhausted. Her hosts asked how she had slept. She gave them a strange answer. "We kept waking up every time you went to the bathroom." The mother looked at her boyfriend. Neither of them understood because neither had gone to the bathroom. Then her sister explained. They had heard the bedroom door open, then close, a short pause, then the bathroom door open, close. A few minutes later, the bathroom door opened again, then closed, and finally the bedroom door open, close. It sounded exactly like someone getting out of bed, walking to the bathroom, and returning. They heard it happen repeatedly, at least 3 times. But there was a problem. Nobody had done it. Long, narrow hallway inside an old Texas house at night. Bedroom door on one side, bathroom door at the end, warm, dim lighting, empty corridor with subtle shadow suggesting someone just walked through. Cinematic horror realism. 16. 9. There was another detail that made the story even stranger. The mother was breastfeeding her 6-month-old baby. She never closed the bedroom door, never. She needed to be able to hear her baby. From her bed, she could simply sit up, look across the hallway, and see directly into her daughter's room. That meant every movement through that hallway was visible. And yet, that night, someone seemed to have been walking through it, someone who didn't belong there. After that experience, the family began losing sleep. Every creak became suspicious. Every footstep sounded different. Every shadow made them look twice. And the mother began wondering something that terrified her. What if she wasn't imagining any of it? Young mother sitting awake in bed at night, bedroom door deliberately left open, looking across the hallway toward her baby's room, soft yellow nightlight illuminating the crib, long dark hallway beyond, eerie realistic horror. 16. 9. Then came the night she finally saw him. She woke up in the middle of the night. No obvious noise, no crying baby. Just that strange feeling of suddenly being awake. She slowly sat up, and almost automatically she looked toward her daughter's room. The warm yellow glow of the nightlight was still there. Her baby was safe. Then something moved between her and that light. A man. Dark bedroom at approximately 2 a.m. Young mother suddenly waking and sitting upright. Moonlight and faint yellow baby nightlight. Hallway visible through open bedroom door. Intense, suspenseful, supernatural atmosphere. Cinematic photorealism. 16. 9. He was tall, around 6 feet, broad shoulders, and completely black, not dark clothing, not a person standing in shadow, black. Opaque, like a human-shaped hole had appeared in the room. He was standing near the foot of her bed. His shoulders looked square. Almost as if he were wearing a blazer or suit jacket. But she couldn't see his face. There were no eyes, no mouth, no features, just darkness, and yet she didn't feel threatened. That's what makes the encounter so strange. She didn't scream, she didn't run, she simply stared at him, and somehow she felt that this man was different from the woman. The woman had felt disturbing. This man didn't. He was simply there, watching. Tall, broad-shouldered, completely black human silhouette standing near the foot of a bed, blocking the warm yellow glow from a baby's nightlight across the hallway. No visible facial features. Mother frozen in bed. Terrifying supernatural realism, cinematic shadows. 16. 9. Most people would probably run, call the police, wake their partner, turn on every light in the house. But she didn't. She simply rolled over and went back to sleep. And that might be the strangest detail of the entire story. Why wasn't she afraid? Was the figure actually harmless? Was her exhausted mind interpreting a shadow as a person? Was it something paranormal, or had she somehow become so accustomed to the strange activity in the house that seeing a figure standing beside her bed no longer felt unusual? She didn't know. But the next morning, she told her husband, and together, they made a decision. They were going to have the house blessed. Mother lying back down in bed while a mysterious black silhouette remains near the foot of the bed. Baby's room glowing softly across the hallway, surreal supernatural scene. Cinematic photorealism. 16. 9. They had the house blessed, and then something happened that they couldn't explain. The activity stopped, completely. No more pictures falling, no more strange figures, no more mysterious footsteps, no more bathroom door opening and closing in the middle of the night, no more woman pacing through the kitchen, and no more black figure standing beside the bed. Nothing. The house became ordinary again. For the first time since moving in, they could sleep, and over the next 2 years, they never experienced anything like it again. Quiet old house after a spiritual house blessing, warm sunlight entering through windows, peaceful baby's bedroom, clean walls, calm atmosphere replacing previous darkness, subtle supernatural mystery, cinematic photorealism, 16, 9. But one question remained. Who were they? Woman in the kitchen, the man beside the bed, were they connected? Were they spirits? Were they memories somehow attached to the house, or was there another explanation? The family never discovered the answer. They didn't find a hidden room. They didn't uncover a murder. They didn't discover an old family secret. They simply experienced things they couldn't explain, and then watched those experiences disappear. Maybe the house had been haunted. Maybe the family interpreted ordinary events through the exhaustion of new parenthood. Maybe the human brain filled in details when they couldn't sleep. We can't know for certain. But there's one thing that's difficult to explain away. The sister and her boyfriend heard the same strange sequence of doors opening and closing, and they had no idea what had been happening in the house before they arrived. Empty hallway of an old small-town Texas house during daylight. Baby's room visible at the end. Sunlight and shadows across the floor, peaceful yet mysterious atmosphere, cinematic documentary horror. Photorealistic, 16, 9. The family eventually moved on. Their daughter grew up. The house remained behind, and the strange activity never returned. But imagine being 18 years old, a new mother trying to protect your baby while wondering whether something invisible is walking through your home at night. Imagine hearing a bathroom door open when nobody is there. Imagine seeing a woman pacing through your kitchen, and then one night waking up and finding a completely black man standing beside your bed. Maybe he was a ghost, maybe he wasn't, maybe the house had a history nobody knew about, or maybe there are things about certain places that we'll never understand. Because sometimes the most frightening stories aren't the ones where something attacks you. They're the ones where something simply watches and waits. And when you finally notice it, it has already been there for a very long time. This is hidden witness. And sometimes the question isn't, is my house haunted? The question is, how long has someone been living there with me? The small pink brick Texas house at sunrise, peaceful empty street, soft golden light, child's bedroom window glowing faintly, subtle silhouette barely visible behind upstairs curtain, atmospheric supernatural horror ending, photorealistic cinematic 16, 9. Thanks for watching. If you saw what others missed, join the hidden witness. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the shadows.